I have my tablet here to check my audio. I think I got it. But how is everybody doing on April 1st, huh? Have you been joked or pranked yet? Let's see here. I'm going to bring this up. But yeah, so I went to the doctor, and the doctor said, I'll be fine. Take 2 aspirin and call me in the morning. Okay, let me get in. Let me get to my channel here and make sure that my microphone is working. Okay. Yes. Sweet. It's working. Okay, so what a day, what a week, what a month. So as I said earlier in a little short video, I have a new phone. Wow, that one went screaming by. Let's see. Hello, Mr. Ghost Wolf. Hey, what's up, man? Yeah, so my phone went out on me, and dang, I wonder why it's doing that. Digger, what's up, bro? So it's not keeping the message up there very long. I'm not real familiar with this new phone yet, so you gotta kind of cut me a little bit of slack. But I do have my tablet right here, and I'll be looking at it every so often, so when I see the chats pop up. But yeah, so my phone, it started tripping, and the battery was dying, and it started robbing the microphone juice from the battery in the microphone, and it was a real pain because I could go a couple of hours on this phone or that phone, and it wouldn't even have any trouble at all. But I started having trouble with the phone. I was missing calls, all kinds of stuff. It was just acting stupid. I was getting in trouble with people trying to reach me, and I would never answer the phone, but I never got alerted that I was getting a call. So it was just a pain in the butt. So I decided to buy another phone, and I bought a Samsung S26 Ultra. Okay, I saw that. Hey, what's up? So I bought the S26 Ultra yesterday afternoon, and I hadn't really had time to play with it. Today I played around with the camera. It's beautiful. The camera is excellent. It's even better than the S22 Ultra camera. And I think the audio is too. It's all AI driven, right? So how could it go wrong? Yeah. But I got it out, and then I tried to do some videos earlier, or a video, and there was no audio. And for some unknown reason, the phone didn't like the Rode 3 Pro. So, but only I messed around with it before I left for the doctor, which I had to go to the doctor, and that all went good. Same old, same old. In fact, the reason I'm going to the doctor, let's get into that. After I tell you, I messed around with the microphones, I got them to work, they paired, perfect. The phone decided it was going to work, and I have no idea why it's working now. I have no idea why it wasn't working. So I'm kind of at a loss at what was going on. Maybe I plugged it in wrong. I don't know. So April 1st. This day is, and I'll get to the Patty stuff here in a minute. This day is kind of like a terrible day for me. It's almost like a real joke, but it's not. It's real. In April 1st of 2000, I went in for an angiogram, and they accidentally blocked the artery, the femoral artery. So when they do an angiogram, they use a catheter with a little camera, and they go into your femoral artery right at the bend of your leg, where your leg attaches to your torso. And it's a main artery that feeds your leg. I mean, that's all I know about it, really. And I know that when it's blocked, you can lose your leg. And that's what happened. They accidentally blocked it. So for 9 days, I was running around with no blood flow in my leg. And to make a long story short, they ran me to the hospital, and when they were, I mean, like emergency, quick as fast. And when they were about to put me under for the surgery, the doctor stopped the anesthesiologist and said, wait a minute, I have to warn him first that when he wakes up, he might not have a right leg. Because I just want you to know, like, don't be expecting to have a right leg when you wake up. Yeah. Well, I had the right. He saved the leg. I was in a wheelchair, though. The leg's never been the same. Total pain. They gave, after 3 years after the surgery, they told me that I have what then was called reflex sympathetic dystrophy, which is RSD. Today they call it CRPS. I have the type 2. Type 2 just means they know what happened to the nerves for the damage, and it is incurable. They can't fix it. It's also the highest pain known to exist, besides having your actual, a limb cut off or something like that with no anesthesia. But as far as like, it's even higher than birth pains, giving birth. High hurts. So I see a pain doctor ever since. Today, April 1st, is 26 years that I've been living with this. And I lost my career. I was executive in the casino. Just got hired by Mr. Steve Wynn in Las Vegas. And I wouldn't be giving you a tall tale naming a name like that, because what if he happens to watch it? It doesn't matter if he watches it, because it's the truth. He hired me personally to be marketing over 5 casinos. And I was really anticipating that. And that was when the doctor said, you need to go get this angiogram because your dad passed away at age 48 after his second triple bypass, which he had the first one at 34. And then they were redoing it at age 48. And he passed away just 2 days after the second triple bypass surgery. So they're concerned about me, and that's why they sent me in there for that test. After the test, they told me, you're good to go. We'll see you in 15 years. Everything looks great. Little did any of us know that they accidentally blocked the artery and changed the course of my life from that point. So kind of April 1st isn't really a good super day for me. It's kind of weird. I start kind of tripping out like a week before April 1st because of that. And I thought about making the picture on the that I use for the video. I thought about making that the picture of the actual blockage of the artery being blocked. Hey Kelly, how's it going? Bye. I aimed the camera like that on purpose. Shh. Yeah, I love to catch them. Yeah, so that's my story of April 1st, and I wish it was a joke. I really do. But there is one thing good that came out of it, and that's I still have a right leg. Really, there's a few things. I learned that your career and money and all of that is not as important as your family and relationships. Those are the most important thing. I thought I knew my wife really well. I'd been married to her for 20, almost 30 years at that point. I thought I knew my kids and grandkids. I didn't know anybody because I was working so much. I averaged about 14 hours a day, 6 days a week. And on my day off, they were always calling me, and I was in there working or on the phone trying to solve problems. And so I really didn't know my wife, but I do now. And now I learned I love my wife more now than I even ever did, because I really got to know her, and I got to build really solid relationships with my kids and my grandkids and now my great grandkids. Sure, I missed the ranch and the cars and the toys and what maybe would have been if I would have went to work at Wynn casinos. I always wonder about that. I've often thought about calling him up and telling him, like maybe 10 years ago, call him up and say, hey, I'm ready to go. I got myself out of the wheelchair. I'm on a cane, but I'm on 2 feet. I'm not sure, what would have ever happened about it, but I've thought about it. In fact, I saw him in the news here recently. Exactly. My relationship with Jesus. I had one before that too. I had a relationship with Jesus, and people will think I'm crazy, but I believe that Jesus heals. Today, still, he's a healer. And I actually, for the first probably 8 years, when I was in the wheelchair for the 5 years, I expected him to heal me, because I've seen healings. And I know he can heal, but for some reason it would seem like crickets, right? I would pray about it and I didn't get anything. And believe me, I was praying a lot. And I also was forced, because I had no income, I was forced to rely on him for everything. Everything. I mean, everything. And with no income, I mean that, like, I was relying on him for where I lived. Everything, absolutely everything. And during prayer one day, he spoke to me in my spirit, like, I guess how minds speak, kind of like how Bigfoot speaks. But if I don't know, it wasn't really in my mind. It was like, I don't know how to explain it, but he spoke to me and told me that he wasn't going to heal me, that he had me right where he wanted me. And then that was it for like a week. And I was like, what? Is that really God? And then it was like, what? Why? Why would you leave me like that? Why don't you heal me? I don't understand, and I started really praying into it. And about a week later, he spoke to me again and told me that if he left me the way I was, and he didn't allow the leg for this to happen, I didn't rely on him. I talked to him and I prayed to him, but when the chips were down or there was a problem, I could get myself out of it. I never came to him for anything. You know what I mean? Like, if I was low on money or I needed cash, I would go do a side job. Like I would go paint somebody's house, or I just saw a mosquito. I would paint somebody's house or do a hauling job or something like that. You know what? I need to turn on my mosquito thing, because I wonder if it's got enough. You guys seen this thing? This thing works. Absolutely. What is it called? Thermocell? These things are after me. But he told me I didn't need him. There we go. You see the little flame in there? I don't know. Yeah, there's a little flame. This thing, there's a little pad right there. It still has blue in it, so it should work. They last about 4 hours. You turn this on, it heats up this plate that this pad is on, and it starts to smoke. And within 15 feet around, no mosquitoes. So I'm going to set that behind me. And in a few minutes, mosquitoes will be leaving me alone. I've seen 2 of them fly by right now, and I hate mosquitoes. So yeah, so he told me that he allowed it to happen because I never relied on him. I never asked him for anything. Which I thought was a good thing. Like, I was self-reliant. You know what I mean? Like, I didn't go begging anyone. I would sell something. I would hawk something. I would do a side job. I would hustle. And that's the way I am. I'm a hustler, and I mean, I hustle up, and I have my own drive. I don't need somebody setting a flame under me. I do it on my own. And he also blessed me with smarts, like street smarts and business smarts and stuff like that. Like, and I would thank him for everything, but I never was asking him for anything. And now he was right. Like, he spoke to me a good month later, telling me that I'm with him more now than I ever was in my whole life. In the first 5 or 6 years, I spent more time with him than I did ever in my entire life before that. And that's true and correct. Most of it was whining. The first few years, all I did was whine about, and then I would resolve and say, I would thank him for being hurt, and at least keeping a roof over my head and groceries and gas in my car and the power on, the internet on. None of that got shut off, and I didn't have an income. I didn't get kicked out. He blessed me with a beautiful lady that's my landlord, and she's absolutely precious, an angel. She absolutely could have kicked me out a bunch of times in 5 years, but she didn't, because God put us together. She came into my life, and I came into her life through God. That it was all of it orchestrated by God. And here I am. I've been on TV. I've been finding Bigfoot, Monsters and Mysteries. I worked for Animal Planet and Nat Geo and all this after, right? It didn't bring it didn't bring hardly any money. When I worked for him, it was for just a few weeks at a time, not solid, employment, but I could say I did, right? Like, a lot of people can't say that, but I could say that. And then working with Jeff and on TV and all kinds of cool stuff, opening for Art Bell in the Dark Matter Network for like 3 years. I mean, some cool things happen in my new life from my old life. So I can't complain, except for I'm not sitting financially like I would be if I was like the president of marketing over 5 casinos. But the trade-off is I don't have any money, but I have a beautiful wife and children and grandchildren and great-grandchildren, really super great friends I would have never ever met, like Chris, the Ghost Wolf, and everybody out there on here. My buddy Mark BZ, you guys should follow him. He is absolutely 100% solid host and great person, very generous and kind, and he's like my older brother. And I don't have an older brother, but I do. I have BZ's my older brother, and all of the people out here, you guys have made things for me by hand and sent them to me, and all kinds. I can't even name it all. Over the last 12 years, it's been absolutely overwhelming how great people are. In fact, you guys and everybody I'm talking about right now, I really didn't trust people, and I didn't take charity, and I wasn't good at that, and I was not good at asking for help or anything. And God humbled me down and showed me that people inherently, or most people are inherently very good, generous, kind, loving people. And I got to see that. And I always thought they were greedy and didn't care about anybody but their own self. And so, I mean, I got a life lesson out of it. Sure, it isn't what I dreamed of as I was working my way up to the top of the casino biz, but I can't complain, and I'm actually very, very happy. And I'm sitting here talking to some beautiful, wonderful people. And if this is your first time here, my name's Alan, and I'm telling you about me, something a lot of people don't know. Maybe some of you out there do. And lately I've thrown the cane away, like probably like 2 years ago now. I've actually put the cane down, and I don't have a cane, no assists. I walk on my own steam. But today was the pain doctor day, so I do have to take, I do get some help with the pain. I can't really go into that, but it really is it is a lifelong learning process, Digger. It really is. I should look at these. God put me with you guys, and if I didn't, try to work with Jeff and help Jeff get his show, like that's how I even got hooked up with Jeff. Was he was trying to break into the TV world and all that, and I'm the can do guy, right? Don't tell me I can't, because I will. Just like they told me I will never walk again. You can't walk. Look at me now. I'll never be out of the wheelchair. Look at me now, right? Like hands down, I might not achieve all the way the goal but only I will get close, and way further than most people think. And everyone can do that. Everyone can do that. You don't have to listen to the doctor. You don't have to let circumstances rule you. You can't, just like when I told you I would not ask for money or help, or I was the guy people came to for help and stuff like that. And not to brag about it or anything, I felt that was my God gave me that gift to hustle and do things and help people. I felt like that was something he was having me do. I didn't think that was ever going to change. I didn't know that, I would be on the other foot, the shoe on the other foot. But never let circumstances dictate to you. Don't let people tell you cannot. Like, oh, don't take that risk. You know what happens if you start that business? 80% of businesses fail. Don't listen to that. Listen to your gut. Listen to your feelings inside. Listen to God and go for it. Sure, it's not going to be like easy, and you might fail a few times, but every time you fail, you learn something, or you should learn something. Not to do that again, right? I believe everyone has it in them to go and do anything they want. Like, what's your dream? Start reaching for your dreams. Start doing what you always wanted to do. Don't let people tell you no, you can't, I should get off of that, but absolutely, Lady K. Amen. That is good news. I'm glad to hear that you're healed. That Jesus heals. And he's been healing me too. He healed me of a bad attitude. He healed me of doubting him, in the dark hours when I was sitting alone, not able to walk at that point, and in terrible pain where I couldn't sleep, days and days and days of no sleep and really terrible pain. He healed me. I mean, I'm not all the way out of pain, but he showed me how to deal with it. And distraction is probably the best thing as a painkiller. Distraction, get yourself distracted, best thing. But he is a healer, and I'm praise God that you got healed. And I believe there's other people out here that have been listening that they too have been healed. But I want to bring something up too. Now I want to change the subject real quick. I have something right here. So there's been something came out here recently. I don't know if the video's released or not, but now there's doubts that Patty and Patterson and Gimlin hoaxed everybody, right? This is Patty's footprint. And there's people now there's doubt, and it's starting to stir up the Bigfoot world that they hoaxed. I should move that. I'm going to break that. But let me move it over here on my big giant bench. So there's big debates going on right now if Patty was a man in a suit, and it was all fake, a hoax. Having seen a Bigfoot, Patty was almost like this, what I saw, like all the way down to her face. Like when you look at a picture of her right here, has no skin, the same as the first Bigfoot I saw. He was more black, like a black lab. Walked the same. I think the one I saw was more graceful than Patty, but fluid movement, and you can't do that in a suit. You can't do that in a suit. And then there's so much evidence saying, down through the years that we've had Hollywood movie makers and costume makers down through the years say they wouldn't be able to make that back in that time, and still today really not be able to make something that realistic unless it's AI, right? AI could do it, but that's how long ago? 67, and we're talking a long time ago. It just wasn't, and if you did see people in suits, you could call it out. And even today, there's videos coming out with people in suits, and immediately you can tell that it's somebody in a suit. You could tell. Even though you have the people in these Bigfoot groups arguing and calling each other names and laughing and making fun and all that, like especially the ones that they don't want to believe there's a Bigfoot because they're afraid. That's why. Most of them probably go camping and hunting and stuff like that. And if there was a Bigfoot, they're too afraid. They're scaredy cats. They're going to stay out of the woods if it was real. So they rather believe it's not, and they don't even want to entertain the idea. But in order to make themselves feel good, they'll freaking ridicule people and say nasty, mean things and call people names and all kinds of stuff. It's ridiculous. Well, I say, I know Bigfoot's real. I'm 99% sure Patterson, Gimlin, Patty is real. Okay? And the Paul Freeman footage is freaking, that's not a suit either. You can tell, they just move too graceful, and there's too much, like the fur, you could tell, is attached to them. It's not baggy and loose under their arms or anything. You could tell it's real. They just are too smooth. And when you're walking through the woods in a suit like that, how graceful are you going to be? You're going to try to look at the ground, right? You're not going to be looking around, because you're gonna fall on your butt or face first or something, because you can't see out of those suits. I'm telling you, whoever made this up or is coming out with this is about 40 years too late, maybe even 50 years. I don't know how long. It's a good 50 years too late. There ain't no way. There isn't any footage. Like, nobody's ever produced the Bigfoot suit that was in there. I've heard rumors it was burned and all this stuff. I'm telling you, that was real. Patterson Gimlin, when I saw that go across the screen, especially after I saw the Bigfoot I saw the first time, it freaking made all the goosebumps and the hair stand up and my eyes start watering. Immediately I knew I was looking at the real deal, especially after seeing one in person. I mean, it brings up all the emotions and everything all over again. And people say, why didn't you take a picture? Even today, why doesn't anybody take a picture? When you're looking at something that massive and that powerful and that graceful, you're fighting the urge to run. And you're also freaking the frack out. The last thing on your mind is the camera that is in your hand, right? I don't know how Patterson was able to do that. I mean, he still fell on the ground and was running after it, but if you're looking for it, maybe you will. I've never came across one when I was actually looking for it with a camera in my hand. But I do know I had a gun in my hand. Do you think I would have shot it? Heck no. That thing was huge, fast, powerful, graceful, and looking right at me, like all I wanted to do was run. The thought of shooting it was like, I'm just going to piss it off, right? Like I had a 300 Weatherby Magnum. I thought I was Superman with that, right? Not with that thing standing there over 10 feet tall and looking at me like the Hulk. Like massive, big, as white as that van right there. Easy and taller than the roof. Like, all I want to do is run. But I'm telling you, the Patterson Gimlin film, it's the real deal. I've talked to Bob Gimlin personally a few times over the years, and his story is always the same. You can tell when you look in people's eyes when they're talking to you, you can tell they're telling you the truth. He's genuine. That guy's genuine. Just like, what was his name? The guy that shot the little baby one, or the little child Bigfoot up there. I can't remember his name. But right after that came out, I was actually with that track that I just showed, and we were raising money for the Felton Museum, which I heard closed. But Mike Rugg's older, and it takes a lot to run that thing. But we were over there raising money, and that guy showed up. And one point during the day, we were eating barbecue. They were selling barbecue to help raise money, and we were sitting at a table, and it was just me and him, and we started talking, and he told me his story, how he was even holding it. He shot it in the throat, and it went down. The other one went off, running off into the bushes, two like twins, right, little ones. And they were both coming at him, and he shot one and shot it in the throat, and it went down. The other one ran off, and then he went over there and started freaking out because it was human looking, and it was gurgling on its blood and pretty gross. And you could tell by the look on his face and the way his voice was wavering and quivering. You can't make that up, right? That guy's story is true. It's a true story. You can look that one up. I can't remember. I know they've done a lot of people, and people have written that guy off, and they drug that guy over the coals so hard that he is now won't even talk about it. He won't even talk about it. And then they told him that he faked the blood. He had blood on his boots. I believe him. And then that guy in England said, oh, it was bear. It was bear blood. He probably did have bear blood. He was a hunter. He hunted bears, deer, but I'm sure they found the real deal on him, on the boots. But they'll never ever admit it. You know, they're out to lie to us and keep us in the dark about these things. I'm an eyewitness. I've seen it several times. I've been with our team. We've been out there and they've been all around us, throwing things at us and yelling and roaring at us and all kinds of stuff, pushing trees over. I mean, you can't fake that stuff. Some of it we have on video and audio, and they're real. I don't care what anybody says. They can make fun of me to my face. They can make fun of me and laugh at me. They could get 100 people making fun of me and laughing at me. It doesn't change the fact of what I experienced. Doesn't change it. No matter what they say or do, does not change that when I go in the woods, it was a life-changing event. When I go in the woods, my head is on a swivel. When I crawl in that tent, I feel like I'm getting in a sack lunch. I feel like that even with 3 guys in that tent, fully armed, the Bigfoot can run up, throw us over his shoulder, and carry us off and have lunch. So it'll be a 3-man sack lunch. They're forest ninjas. Now you see them, now you don't. Most people don't. I think they're selective on who gets to see them. I don't know why they picked me. But once I saw one, then it was on after that. Every time I went to the woods, even before Jeff, I was already having things happen, and I knew what they were. I knew. In fact, I knew after I saw it, I was raised in the mountains, hunting and with my dad. I mean, I was in a playpen. We were camping every weekend, every summer, and even when I was a baby in a playpen. I grew up there, living in Yosemite and all. There was things that happened. I didn't know what it was that did these things. After I saw that, I knew exactly what that was, that over the years that I was having confrontations with that I didn't see, but scared me so bad I would run. Absolutely put the fear on me so bad that I would run. And I would go like 200 yards before I started reasoning with myself, like, what am I doing? There's nobody here. I'm all by myself. I'm miles in the wilderness. There's no reason for me to be running. I didn't see anything. I didn't hear anything. But the fear was like just gripping me where I wanted to run and run and run and run. So now I knew what happened. I knew what caused that fear. I knew what threw rocks through the trees. I knew what was throwing boulders in the creek so big that you could hear them grinding. When they hit the bottom of the creek, you could hear them grinding the rocks as they settled in, and you could actually feel it through the ground. And I didn't know what that was when I was growing up. All of a sudden, sploosh, in these big pools, probably 4 or 5 feet deep. And it would be like somebody did a cannonball, like a big guy who did a cannonball, but then you would feel and hear the boulder land in the bottom of the creek. At first I was thinking, it rolled off the bank, but I could never find where it rolled off the bank. And then I thought maybe somebody's pranking me or something, but there never was anyone. I was up there for 3 weeks I didn't see anyone the whole time. And there was stuff happening, I don't know. But I think people should believe the eyewitnesses like me. I don't think people inherently want to lie about that. Like some people are just born liars. But I don't think out of all the people that have seen this thing, and experienced this, I don't think everybody's lying. And then there's tracks and there's DNA and all kinds of evidence like that. There's pictures. The Patterson Gimlin picture, video. That's a picture. I mean, it's kind of hard to be on the side that they're not real, right? Really hard. It's not an April Fool's joke. That's not either. That's the real deal. Okay, let me see here. Yeah, the Paul Freeman footage. When I first saw that, it was years ago. Before I was even out of the casino, I was still working at the casino, and I was kind of lucky. As a marketing director, I sent myself to school, and I got myself qualified or certified to be the network administrator for the casino. And about 6 months after I finished it and got certified, and I had it hanging in my office, they fired the network administrator, and they hired me. They told me interim. You could be the network administrator interim. I conned them out of a little bit more cash. And the food and beverage director too, I was interim, but I was all three at the same time, But in that job, I had to back up. Like, they didn't trust anybody with the computers at the casino, especially all the information from the machines and all that, like how much money was being played and all that. But I had to back them up twice a day, and it took 2 hours every time. And I couldn't leave because it was like these magnetic tapes. And if something went wrong, you don't want to come in there later and find out the thing ate your tape, You had to be right there. It never did, but I had 2 hours. Hi, Winter, how are ya? I had 2 hours to sit there and wait for these tapes to back up onto these tapes, these big mainframes. And I don't know, when the tape would end, I would pop another one in, I'd pause it and put another one until I had all of it backed up. And I had to make 2 copies, one to go off property. That way, in case something happened to the one on the property, there was a copy off property, and vice versa. If something happened to the ones off property, there was still a copy. So I had to make 2. But I would get on the internet. It was the only place in the casino where you could go online and be able to peruse the internet. And this is like in the late 90s, and mid to late 90s. So the internet was kind of relatively new, but there was a lot of stuff out there, like the Freeman footage came out, I think, like right around 2000 or something like that. I can't remember, but it was the early days, and the video quality wasn't that great. You could see the Patterson Gimlin stuff. There was a lot of UFO stuff, a lot. Remember that one guy, I think his name was Gary, I can't remember his last name, but he had hacked into the government, and he found UFO stuff, and he found things about that we had actual ships, and our military had a space force, right? And they were already going off world and doing all kinds of stuff. And he had found the ships that they had collected. I mean, all kinds of stuff. They actually tried to put him in jail for life. And I think he was an English guy. There was that. I read a lot of stuff back in that time, when I would sit there for 2 hours or twice a day to back up the computer system in the casino. And they could say, oh, you weren't working. Well, like, I was making sure the tape didn't get screwed up and that the backup happened. If you didn't sit there and do that, like, what are you going to do? Sit there and stare at, like, watching the grass grow, right? Or the paint dry. But yeah, I was all over the internet at that time and had more knowledge than I do now about computers. I forgot more than most people ever knew about a computer, but it was pretty fun. But yeah, when I've been finding, hey, what's happening? How you doing, Thelma? Yeah, I've been working on some belts. In fact, I have an apprentice. Check it out. I got this apprentice and he's been helping me. Yeah, he's got kind of a silly look on his face, but and he's kind of smiling, But he's my apprentice. If he would quit hiding, if he would quit hiding from me, we'd get a lot more work done, but he's always hiding. Can barely find him half the time because he's off running around the bench somewhere hiding. But he's a good, quiet guy. He doesn't say much. Yeah, he's been my apprentice. But I've been having a lot of fun doing leather. In fact, I'll show you guys. I just bought this. I know it's backwards, but the words are backwards. But I'm going to make myself a backpack. Oh, yeah. A roll top backpack. I'll let you know how that goes. And I'm also working on a giveaway for everybody. I'm working on that. And it's going to be a pad folio, a legal pad folio. I was going to bring one out here to show you guys. That way it's men and women, right? Or any gender could use that. It's a notepad with the legal pad. And it's like a binder notepad thing. And so I'm working on that. But I have like a bunch of belts I have to do. And I got the Santa Claus belt still. Finally, I'm back in business with the Santa Claus belt. I tried to find this Santa Claus is a big guy. And I didn't know how lucky I was the first time when I said I was going to make the Santa Claus belt. I bought a side of leather and rolled it out, and it was plenty long to make a belt. And then an accident happened and it ruined the leather. I left it on the bench. I don't do that anymore now because I learned from that. People will come along and spill soda and all kinds of stuff on your bench, and it'll kill anything. It'll hurt the leather if it's on the bench. It ruined it. So I went and bought another side of leather, but when I rolled it out, it wasn't long enough. I was like, uh-oh. So I went to Tandy, my local Tandy, and I would go over there every time they got a delivery, and we would, as they were setting the hides out, I would be measuring them, looking for one long, and like the one I had the first time that was long enough. After a year, I still couldn't find one. And then they started inquiring with other stores, and then come to find out, I just got an exceptionally long hide that was unusual. And it would be rare to find one that long. It was like, oh man, So I tried, and then I had to come up with something else, and I didn't know, how do you add leather, right? How do you make it longer? I had no idea. But then here recently, somebody told me what to do. An old leather guy showed me how to extend the belt, and it would look good and everything. So I'm back on track on that. Still haven't found a side of leather that was like the one that I lost, that was long enough. And it was barely long enough. Yeah, I think it had like 2 inches to spare, and that's it. So, I mean, it was barely long enough. But yeah, let me see here. Yeah, talking about the Jesus being the most important relationship, that's true. Because a lot of people, they try to do things on their own. And what I found, and it's scriptural, seek God first, and all things will be added unto you. The desires of your heart, friends, relationships, all of it. It could be a significant other, right? I mean, it could be your desires that you don't tell people, the deep down things that you think you'll never ever have. If you seek him first and not the world and not other things, but you seek him and make him the center of the universe, with the creator, the one that gives us life, the one that gives you the ability to see and speak and think and see colors and reason and creativity, all of it. He gave it all to us, life. You seek him first, and then all things, your deepest desires of your heart will be added unto you. And if not in this lifetime, we don't die. We live forever. And he will make sure that you have everything that you ever desired. And it might take 1,000 years, but you might have it and then be able to play with it for an eternity. You know what I'm saying? Like, we're so wrapped up in the world. A lot of people are chasing, like me, chasing that brass ring and the house and the cars and trying to give good things to your kids. God showed me when I was praying in the dark, after he showed me that, he allowed my leg to be hurt. He allowed me to be hurt. He showed me that I needed to ask him for things. And he would tell me I'm a good father, because when my kids came and asked me for things, they didn't ask me for, is the power bill going to get paid? Or they didn't ask me for anything like that. Can I get a Xbox? Can I, they were wanting things, a motorcycle, a horse, a bicycle. They weren't asking me for their needs. They were asking me for what their heart desires, right? He knows what our heart desires, and he is even better than I am at getting those things for my kids. And he never fails. He will give you those things, but you have to search him out every day first. Like he's the provider, he's the life giver, he's the healer. He created the world and all this wonderful things, like your ability to see it, smell it, touch it, taste it. You wouldn't have any of that. And then think about it. He created us in his image. We're above the angels. Did you know that? We're above the angels because the angels were created to do a job. Not meaning that they don't have personalities and stuff like that. They just don't have what we have. We can have a sense of humor and joke around with God. We can question him. They can't question him. We can outright refuse him, kind of like the devil did. But he made us to hang out with us. Like, go read about Adam and what his relationship was with Adam. That's what he desires for every one of us. He thought of us before we were even anything. He thought of us before we were even anything. He knew how we were going to be before we were even right? For even anything. Daddy's little squirt, right? He thought of us way before that. And he planned special things for you and special gifts, and everyone's different, and everyone has a gift or a talent or something that he gave you that you're inherently good at. And I mean, he's wonderful. Seek him, and all things, all your desires, all things that you need, everything will be added unto you. Like, how good is that? How great is that? And I could go on and on proving that he's done that for me. Like, I talked a little bit about it here. I'm not in a wheelchair. I have great friends. They've given me things I didn't even ask for and helped me, and There's just some real generous, beautiful, loving, kind, just like God. I'm giving you the qualities of God. That's his qualities too. But sometimes you can get mad, right? Yeah. He has a temper too, just like we do. We are just like him. We have the same qualities, that we're made like him. He made us like with his qualities. Everybody looks different, everybody acts different, everybody, I mean, like, it's a trip. It's a trip. I didn't even mean to go off on that, really. Mostly I wanted to talk about this day. Okay, now there's another day coming in April that I celebrate. Like this one, it's a sad day, it's bittersweet. Okay, so I don't know whatever would have happened if they didn't say, oops, and I almost lost my leg. But on April 26th, 1986, that's when I actually met God the first time. I mean, I didn't see him, but I actually looked for him. And I was in jail, and I was getting ready to go to prison for doing something drunk that I don't even remember doing. And it was for a long time. But the people that I was trying to hurt decided not to press charges because they wanted to get me. But the district attorney was going to press charges anyways, and some of them did want me in prison because they ran the prison. These people, this families, ran the prison, and the DA told me that if they put me in jail, I wouldn't live long, and there was no way around that, right? No chance to fight or live. They're going to get you. And you're locked up in there with them, and they're gonna get you. Like you don't even have a fighting chance. But if he decided not to press charges and let me back out, or let me off and let me out into the world, they still were gonna try to get me, but only had a fighting chance, right? I had an opportunity to escape. And April 26, 1986 is when I cried out to God because I couldn't stop doing what I was doing. And I didn't know God. I didn't go to church, but I felt like there was something there, and actually that was my last hope. He had to be real, and he had to help me because I could not help myself. And that's what I did. I got out there and I cried out to him and said, hey, if you're real, you have to help me because I can't change. I'm losing my wife and my kids and my friends and my job and almost my freedom. And I wanted so badly to change, but I didn't. I felt weak, and I knew I couldn't stop. I knew maybe for a little while I could, but I would think it's okay, and then I would get drunk one more time and not remember, and maybe go for a week without sobering up. And not remember the whole week, right? There's years that are foggy to me. Except since that day, I remember every day now. And I give thanks to God that he saved me from that, and that I found him, that he answered me, because I couldn't quit, but I haven't fell off the wagon. Everybody for 6 years, everybody kept telling me, yeah, you're alcoholic, you're gonna fall off the wagon, nobody can do this, you're gonna fall off the wagon, you're really bad, just wait, you'll never be able to stay. That's what I mean by don't listen to people. Don't listen to them. Keep your eyes on God. Keep believing, have faith that he is helping you, and then try to help yourself. Like, try to go. I'm not saying you're going to be able to do it. It'll take him helping you to do it, but at least try. Give yourself a chance. Try those things that you want to do. Try to achieve the dream. You want to be a pilot? Start working towards being a pilot. Like, you want to change careers? start looking around and seeing if you can't change careers. If you're young, go do what you got to do to get in the career you want to be in. Even if you have to do school at night or online and nights, I mean, go for it. Go for it. You don't listen to the world or the devil or people tell you that you're never going to achieve anything. You're not going to be anything. You can't stop being a drug addict. You can't stop drinking. You're weak. You're just a slime ball, you know. It's not in your DNA. Your family's cursed, you know, and it's just going to catch up to you. I mean, there's so many things I've been told, and I hear other people telling other people. Like, I was told, I would tell them, I'm going to run this casino. You know, they're like, oh, yeah, ha. You know, you don't even, all I had was a GED. I didn't even graduate because I was too busy partying, right? All I had was a GED. And it would seem like a blink to me. And pretty soon I had 300 employees under me, 3 different departments, and actually was running a lot of the departments because of the marketing. Marketing affects every area of the casino, from security to maintenance. I mean, the bathrooms get dirty. I mean, every department gets hit when I do a promotion that's successful. It packs the place out, and everybody whines. And one day I got some crackers, and I had a bag of crackers, a big grocery bag, and I was walking around, and it was the day after a promotion, and everybody was coming to me, and they were whining, the directors, the managers, the floor people. They were telling me I had to quit doing that. Like, I made their job harder. Only I was making more money for the tribe and the casino than anyone ever did. And I had this bag, and I got a bunch of crackers. And they would start whining and go, hey, would you like some crackers with that wine? I got some cheese right here. You want cheese and crackers with that wine? And oh, man, they freaking hated that. They hated it. And I would just laugh, like, I'm not going to stop. That's your job. That's what you get paid for. This is what we work towards, right? We work towards this. And you're full of wine. Let me give you some cheese and crackers with it. And I only got to do that a few times, and then they quit whining because they knew I wasn't going to give them any sympathy. I wasn't going to give them an ear. I was going to keep doing whatever I was doing, what I wanted to do. And if it's successful, then I'm going to keep doing it. And if I wasn't successful and I failed, then I'm going to figure out what I did wrong, and then I'm going to get back up and I'm going to do it again, but I'm going to do it without doing that again, right? And I encourage everyone to believe in their self. I don't care where you are in life. Believe in yourself. Trust God. Ask Him to help you and see what happens, right? Believe that He will. Just ask Him. Actually, really ask Him. And then don't think in 20 minutes or a day or 3 days. It might be a year before you see it. But don't fall off and say, see, I knew He wasn't going to help me, and then you talk yourself out of that blessing. And it might have been the next day that you would have got blessed and you would have seen something. Most people, they don't stick it out. They don't follow through. They hang in there. Believe in yourself. Keep working for what you want. Keep seeking God, and all those things will be added to you. You know, that's the best advice I ever could give anyone. Yeah. How's it going, Rockport? Yeah, it's good to see you guys. I really was trying to come back, and my phone just started screwing up. But I'm getting mosquito bites. I think I'm out of the juice, huh? No, it's still a little bit, right? No, it looks pretty white, huh? I only have one left. You can see, can you see the flame in there? Yeah, let's see. This thing works great. I left it on all night with another pad. I'm kind of glad it even works. If it doesn't, I'm going to get another one. If it quit working, I'm going to get another one. That's the only, I've tried everything. Sprays, the little electronic sonic thing, those little things you put on your wrist, plants, all the different plants they say mosquitoes don't like. We even put foil. You put some coffee grounds on it and you burn the coffee grounds and let it smolder, and they say that gets rid of it. But look at that. I got 2 bites right there already. Can you see them? Oh my goodness. And they get me like, maybe it's not smoking underneath the thing. But I will get rid of the mosquitoes. I found that one and it works. It works camping, fishing, all the places where you get eat up by mosquitoes. You set that up, and then if the wind's blowing, set it upwind a little bit and sit downwind of it like a few feet. They won't come near you. You'll know when it's not working, like me right now. You'll know when it stops working because you'll start getting bit. Well, guys, I don't know what's going on. I don't even know what time it is. My wife went I'll give you an update on my wife. My wife, she went to a different doctor. We had an appointment at the same time, so I couldn't go with her to her appointment for her ear. And she was bad. I don't know if I was able to tell you guys, but she had an infection in her ear, and it actually was like a yeast infection. She wears hearing aids, and sweat, and then not getting her ear all the way dried out before she put the hearing aid in, it started an infection, and it was growing like a yeast infection, like a fungus growing in her ear, and it got really bad, inflamed and swollen. It actually perforated her eardrum, and she went into vertigo. And like, it's been about a month and a half now. For almost a full month, she was full on vertigo, and she couldn't go to the bathroom. I had to get a bedpan, and I've been doing that. I cooked more in the last month than I have in the last 30 years. I mean, like, I've been cooking 3 square meals a day and all that. Steak and eggs, I've been feeding her steak and eggs. But yeah. So, but today, I mean, the last week, I would say. And then I was putting drops in her ears to kill the yeast or whatever that infection is, antibiotics, getting her meds. And she went in today. She's still off balance, and her eardrum is healing. It's still perforated, but it's healing, but the infection is totally gone. Like the doctor said, he told her that, I'm not going to say it's 100% fixed or better. I'm going to say it's 1,000% better. I was like, praise God, right? And we've been praying for that. So, but she's still off a little bit, and still, like, she lost a lot of weight when she was in the hospital, because she was just throwing everything up for the first 3 weeks. Like, no matter what you fed her, vertigo, she was just losing everything, and she lost a lot of weight. We need to put about 11 or 12 pounds on her, but she's getting better every day. She has that little sparkle in her eye again that I fell in love with 40, 50 years ago or whatever it is. But yeah, so that's the update on the wife. I praise God for you guys. You guys are such a blessing to me. That's the only reason I haven't stopped doing videos, because of the people out there. I sense a connection to everyone. I don't know if everybody feels that, but you guys are a total blessing to me, and I don't want to just disappear and leave everyone hanging like that. And plus, I enjoy it. I enjoy talking to you guys and hearing about you guys with Facebook and your comments and stuff like that. I know a lot of people don't comment, and I know YouTube has hit me hard with the censorship thing, especially like unsubbing people. In fact, I thought it was hopeless that that I was getting squished so hard by social media that I didn't try. I wasn't trying. And then, here I am telling everybody, go for it, I don't have the goal to, I'm not looking for a job. I just turned 67 years old. While I was in, like, that was February 24th, and I was in the ER with my wife, and I turned 67. I had my birthday in there. So, like, I'm in a lot of pain, and I just don't, there's no reason for me, unless I'm going to help somebody, unless I'm helping people, I really have the drive for me to, like, chase the YouTube channel, whatever. But that could change. That could change. God, every time I think about, or, I pray about it all the time, and I'm like, God, what do you want me to do? Like, He's the one that makes everything happen, and He tells me to go back, go do a video, and mention me, talk about it, pray for everybody. So here I am, and if something happens, it's all glory to God, because He did it, not me. And that's how it is. And I'm not going to stop. I'm going to come on every week. My phone is working now. I got a brand new phone, like a $1,400 phone. Can you believe that? God is good. With hardly no income at all, I still have a $1,400 phone. Like, amazing. But yeah, I digress about that. Let's get back. So what I want to do is, I got to go. I got to fix dinner, still to cook. But I want to pray for you guys. And I want you to know I really, truly love and care for all of you, even the ones that are the first time out here, first time seeing or hearing me. You're not alone in the world. You have at least me praying for you. And even if you tuned in after the live and you hear this prayer, it's for you. I'm praying for everyone. And God can reach around the world. He's global. He's universal. He's the creator of all things. And He could fix your world and your situation. And if He doesn't fix it, He will send you in a different path. I pray that you see the doors that He's opening and you walk through it. And that the doors that He closed, you can't open and have to move on. You can be frustrated because that's the door you want to go through, but if it's not the right door, I pray it stays closed and that you'll see the door He wants you to go through. I pray every person that hears this be healed completely. Your spine, your brain, your blood, your nerves, your muscles, your bones be healed. Get in line with the Word of God. By His stripes we are healed. I pray that your finances be blessed abundantly, that your relationships be blessed abundantly, that your job, whatever that is, be blessed abundantly. And if it isn't, another one, a door will open, and it will be abundant blessings in every area of your life, in Jesus' name. I love every single one of you. Dang, I'm gonna cry. Sorry, but I gotta go. Gotta go. Love you guys. I will see you really soon, now that I have a phone and now that the microphone works again. And that was a miracle. That had to be God, because I didn't know what happened. So, and this ain't a joke. I love you, and I'll see you soon. If I can